Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is the Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. If this is your first time visiting with me, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're watching on replay, thank you. I appreciate that. So, it's a big deal in the chat today. Everybody knows Dave is leading the Frito party. Yay! Hi, Frito. Hi there. Yes, you came in. You're wearing your little doll Frito, spelled with a T. I say it with a D. This is Frito, our little rescue, and she's wearing her bandana. Miss Sharon made, actually Nicole, Sharon's daughter, Nicole made for her. It's Frito Day. This is I guess what they call in the rescue world a gotcha day. Yes, Frito says, quit talking and give me my biscuit. Can I have my biscuit? You look so pretty. Yes, you do. So, Dave, I got your package. Thank you so much. What is that? Is that from Uncle Dave? Yeah, is that from Uncle Dave? Is that who that's from? Oh, my. Y'all, look at these little dog biscuits. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? I wouldn't eat it. But Miss Frida, we're going to give her the whole, well, we're going to give her half. Not going to give her the whole thing. Hold on. Let me do it over the trash can, Frito, because it's going to make, I think I can break it. I can't break it. All right. You're getting the whole thing. Calories, girl. Oh, my gosh. Oh, she's gone. All right. See you later. Oh, my goodness. Dave, I did get your box. You're very kind. Thank you so much. I've never met Dave, you guys, for anybody who's wondering. Oh, she's gone. She took that biscuit and she's gone. So another box of the, let's see, no wheat, no corn, no soy. These are Snicky Snack Poppers. These are peanut butter. And I don't know where you get these. Probably at a Trader Joe's. I don't have one of those nearby me. So this is very nice. And the bacon and cheese. Thank you. Thank you. I will. I'll show the birthday card. Sit tight, Dave. Sit. Okay. He's bouncing. Show it, show it, show it. And another pack of donuts instead of donuts. Isn't that cute? And then a pack of peanut butter pup cups, dog treats. Oh my goodness, y'all. You spoil her terrible. So, Bucky's there at Bucky's. Okay, great. Awesome. Have to do that. And he sent a little card. There's glitter on the outside of the card. I hope there's none inside. I don't like glitter in my sewing room. All the rescue kitties they say gotcha day because that's the day I got you. So Miss Frito is being spoiled. There's a load of glitter in here, y'all. Oh my word. Okay, it's a Mickey Mouse. Isn't that cute? Hold on here. Frito, happy gotcha day to the sweetest and luckiest pup I know, Dave. Isn't that sweet? That's so nice, Dave. You spoil that dog. Oh my goodness. If something happens to us, I'll put her in the will that you put it in the will. You can have her. Frito was at our local no-kill shelter, and she, I was looking for an Australian cattle dog. This is way high from yesterday. Let me bring this down. I was looking for an Australian cattle dog. I really, really love that breed. I was looking at Australian cattle dogs of Texas, ACDs of Texas up in Austin. My coffee is still on the pot. I didn't get it. I wish I could wake up Keith. Maybe Frito will. And so the ACDs of Texas, I wanted a female, and I wanted, I really didn't care about the color, but I was looking for a female, and they didn't have one at the time. And so my husband said, why don't you check our local no-kill shelter? And I live in a little county southeast of San Antonio. And I thought, well, okay. And that shelter's been open a couple of years. And we went down there, and I looked on Facebook, and they had a picture of her on Facebook. And y'all, she was in bad shape. She looked like, Tammy says, we can wait. Go get your coffee. I might do that to you guys in a little bit. But when I thought I got it off the thing, but because I just did a second cup. So we went down to go get her or go take a look at her. And on the pictures, she looked like she just had a litter. And so messaged them, and they said she was still available, and went down there to take a look at her. And you guys, she was bad. She had ehrlichiosis and anaplasmosis, which I'm not a vet. I don't know. I don't profess to know anything about those. And so she had to be on a 30-day regimen of these antibiotics to get rid of those diseases. And she also had heartworms. So because of the heartworm condition, they had to abort 9 pups off of her, because I guess if a dog, well, they don't, I don't know, but heartworms used to be a death sentence. But if they go through the birth process during heartworm treatment, the mother will die. She'll bleed out. So they aborted the pups off of her, and then we had her for 30 days to get rid of those 2 bacterial infections, and then we had to take her back down to them. And they have a volunteer vet that comes from San Antonio to take care of the dogs there. And then he gave her, it's a shot in one hip one day, which really distressed her. It was very painful. And then a shot in the other hip the next day. So we went back and forth. It's a 20-mile drive to go to the vet and get her taken care of. And then she has to be on kennel rest for 30 days. So she's not running, because they don't want the heart pumping, they don't want the blood flow. It's a big blood thinner. And I guess the worms just disintegrate. But anyway, it's a blessing that treatment, because that used to be a death sentence. But yeah, so now we got her, and she's put her weight back on, and she no longer looks like she just had a litter of puppies, and she looks great. So we're blessed to find her. And it was so funny when when we were down there to get her, a gentleman in a scrubby t-shirt and shorts comes walking out with his 8-year-old son from the back. They had been cleaning cages. And you guys, that guy was an Air Force colonel who I knew from Randolph Air Force Base. And I'm looking at him, and he's not in uniform. And I'm looking at him going, I know you're really familiar. And then come to find out it was a colonel that had worked in my organization way high up at the top. I was a civilian way over here on the other building, but I saw him at commander's calls and whatnot. And he was volunteering his time there. And I just think that's wonderful. So yeah, it's amazing. So you guys, thank you so much. Dave, you're so sweet. Thank you to remember her. Frito, do you want your stick? Frito, she came back in. Come here. Do you want a stick so you can go brush your teeth? Well, come over here. We'll take another look at you and your cute little bandana. It's your gotcha day. Yeah, we'll take another look at you. There you are. So cute. Do you want your stick? Here's a turkey treat from Dave. Yeah, you'll take that. Yeah. With turkey treats from Dave or Claudia? I can't remember. There's your stick. You want that? Go brush your teeth. Okay. Bye-bye. We're going to have to watch our calorie intake today. Thank you guys so much. You guys, please check your local shelters for rescues before you go buy a designer dog. Come to find out, one of you told me she's not an Australian cattle dog. She's too small. And her tail is very, very stumpy, very docked. And I had made that comment. And one of you from Australia mentioned, no, she's a Queensland stumpy tail cattle dog. And that's an actual breed with AKC. I went and looked at it, the American Kennel Club. I went and looked it up, and sure enough. So everything about her is purebred AKC. So in fact, she is kind of a designer dog. So you never know what you're going to find in your shelters. So yeah, Dave wants to retire so he can have a co-pilot. I know, that's awesome. She's excited. We're leaving today in the motorhome and heading up to Canton, Texas for the Mid-South Rally of our For Travel Motorhome Club. That's going to be fun. You guys are coming with me. We will be live from the motorhome in the mornings. So that's very exciting to be doing that. So do a DNA on her. Yeah, Barb, I certainly could. So she looks, yeah, Sharon says for all she's been through, she looks very healthy and very loved. And she is. She has her daddy dog wrapped around her little paw. Let me tell you what. But so I'll be doing some piecing in the motorhome with you guys. Bonnie Cohn is our hi Bonnie, hi Ron, good morning. They're over in Mont Bellevue, Texas. Life is good, sewing makes it better. Okay, Ron, go make breakfast. So yeah, Bonnie is our Mid-South, our chapter president. And so she's got lots of activities planned for us, things to do. Well, the wagon masters do. So, consider joining a club too. If you have a motorhome or an RV and if they take your RV, do it. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Keep you busy for sure. All right. And I've got some happy mail I want to share with you guys. Did I get that other package and bring it in? Okay. I'll share that with you guys tomorrow, I guess. All right. So there is a couple that watches me, and it is Dave Sargent and Francine. So I went to the mail yesterday. Let me get rid of my trash. I went to the mail yesterday and picked up the box from Dave with the cookies in it, and this box from Dave Sargent. And on the outside of the box, it said, "Thank you for all your amazing videos." And this is one of those things, you guys, where I opened it up and I was like, oh my word. So y'all, I want you to see this. His card says laser artist. That is a new one on me. Technology created a new breed of artist, laser artist, Dave Sargent. I will put his contact information below in the video when we get finished here this morning. I didn't have a chance to do it before we started, but a beautiful card right there. It's not going to focus too well. So you guys look at this. Look at this. Isn't that stunning? Look at all of the different quilt blocks with my logo inside. You shop owners, this would be a fantastic thing to put on your shelves. Incredible. I love the color. I love all the quilt blocks on it. Oh my goodness. I know. I know. This is stunning. Look at the detail in the logo. All of the little filigree that I have on it down here, little tiny filigree. There, it's focusing now. Look at that. Every little bit, you can see the thread lines in the thread spools. You can see the whole line of thread. Look at that. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Do not dishwash. This is a hand wash only, and I will use it. Absolutely. Dave, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Francine, thank you both for your support of the channel. Absolutely stunning. But we're not finished there. For you whimsical folks, how about a pair, and I will wear them, of bunny earrings for Easter? How about those? And they're sparkly. Yay. That is a made. Oh, Julianne said Frito's story made her cry. Sweetie, don't cry. Oh, I know. I know. Happy endings. That's what we all hope for, right? Happy endings. And then the other thing that he did, my husband was like, give me that. I want to see that. Y'all look. This is made out of metal. It has a little leather strap. Look at this. Look at that. Power tools with thread. How about that? Oh my goodness. It's a kind of heavy. What an awesome medallion. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Oh, it is so pretty. I was wearing it last night. Keith said, is it heavy? I said, no, not heavy. I'm gonna put it over my little head and wear my medal like I won first place. I have the kindest audience on YouTube. You all, I get emails and gifts and that kind of thing. And you all are such a blessing to me. So much. Just the kindness and the thoughtfulness. Thank you so much. Okay. You just have to stop saying, wow. I know. I was like, oh, as I pulled these open, this is amazing. So Dave, you are an amazing laser artist. your talent and your skill is phenomenal. So be prepared. When I put your information below the video, when we finish, you may get a bunch of emails. Okay, and I'll read it off to y'all now. I might hook up with Dave, and I've all the Davids in my life. I might hook up with David and have him make my mugs, and then you guys can get those from him, custom and personal. How nice is that? It's he's out of Jackson, New Jersey, and Liberty Laser USA, Liberty Laser USA at gmail.com. So Liberty, he has an Etsy shop, Liberty Laser USA. Very nice. Facebook and Instagram. So awesome. David, thank you so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very, very nice. I know. The most amazing, generous people are hanging out in our world in here. And it's just so, so nice and such a blessing for all of that. Well, Lisi says, I'm special. No, it's you guys. I could not have what I have without you. And don't think that I don't realize that every moment of every day. So it's very, very nice. So thank you, David, for the Frito treats. And thank you, David, for your laser gifts. Be prepared to see this. And everybody's going to go, where'd you get your mugs? So, oh, you met your husband in Jackson, New Jersey, quilting with Harriet. Was that blind date? Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. So very nice. Okay. Frito's had her stick. She's just come back through the door. I love that tumbler too. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So yesterday we talked a lot about thread, and ooh, y'all, the quilt police came out of the woodwork and into my email inbox. I will start it and finish it. So now I have a lot of quilters, a lot more quilters that are watching the channel. See, YouTube tells me that the majority of my subscribers are also subscribed to Pat Sloan, the Fat Quarter Shop, Jordan Fabrics, Missouri Star, all of those YouTube channels. So that tells me that the majority of what you watch, in addition to doing machine embroidery, is quilting. And so that's why I changed to where we're just doing embroidery Thursdays. And we're talking a lot more about quilting too. It's a larger audience. It helps the channel. So I try to blend both worlds and keep everybody happy. But so yeah, a lot of quilters and a lot of very, very exceptionally talented quilters watch the channel. And talking about thread is like talking about somebody's children. And these folks get their dander up for sure. But I'm going to stick by what I said. Okay. And, I went over to the Wonderfill. Is it the Wonderfill? Who makes Wonderfill? I went over to their booth at Road to California, where all the Wonderfill thread was. And my first words when I walked in was, I know absolutely nothing about thread. I know zero about thread. I know about what makes up thread, whether it's 100% cotton or it's a man-made fiber. And the ladies were so kind to talk to me about the different kinds of thread and whatnot. And I'm a lot like a regular user. Okay. I find something that works with my machine, that does what I want it to do. And that's kind of where I stick. And that's perfectly fine. I am not a thread artist, and I'm just kind of a down to earth, easy peasy quilt piecer and that kind of thing. So I'm going to stand by what I said yesterday. And that is, you use what works for you. I got a great email from a viewer in Vegas, and she said she had even talked to some quilters about some famous quilters like Ricky Timms and another, and I'm not a famous quilter by any means. I'm a YouTuber. That's all I am. I'm a YouTube influencer, and that's all I do, according to my 1099 from Google. And the phrase was, life's too short to worry about such trivial things to to get thread snobbish. But I know that folks out there are very adamant and passionate about their threads. And that is a blessing because you create beautiful things, right? And again, the old age old beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So my thought is that you guys need to use what works for you and what looks beautiful to you, because 99% of you are not going to enter your quilts into shows. 99% of you are going to gift it to a grandchild or a neighbor or something like that who have zero clue, don't care about the thread, don't care about the piecing. They just know they received a handmade gift from you, or you're going to display it in your home or something like that. So use it. Yep, that's exactly right. Use what works for you. Use what makes you happy. Somebody made a comment too yesterday about they were told not to use Coats and Clark threads because it's too linty. Is Coats and Clark linty? Yes, it definitely is. I can say that from personal experience. It works. I used it in my old Tin Lizzie long arm. It works and it lints like nobody's business. But what I was talking about yesterday was using their jean thread, their thread that is designed for denim. And if you're going to be recreating the outside stitching, the decorative stitching on a pair of jeans, or you're going to put in a zipper or something like that, that particular thread, you're not going to be using it enough for it to lint really, really badly. But when you get finished with your zipper repair or your jacket repair or whatever denim you happen to be working on, clean out your bobbin and that's it. And you'll be fine. Okay. And get rid of all of that lint. So, I don't use that thread enough to suffer the consequences of all of the lint. So, Maureen says, I need to be rescued by a quilter. Yeah. Yeah. You can use it on your Vanderbilt jeans for sure. Absolutely. Do that. Absolutely do it. Use it, and when you get finished, clean it out, because, when you're garment sewing, you are not working at those high speeds that you are when you're running stuff through a quilt. It's a totally, not only are the textiles different that we use, but the medium that we're using it on, or the method of the use is totally different. So long arming and machine embroidering and quilt piecing and garment sewing are all completely different. Completely different. I have sewn many, 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 many garments with Coats and Clark threads. They're strong. They work exceptionally well. They hold your clothes together. I would not sew a garment to be worn as part of a regular, wardrobe with 100% cotton thread. I'd be afraid my sleeve would fall off. So, yeah. And, spandex is another thing. Cindy's talking about, comfy for a quilt backing. Oh, 97% cotton and 3% spandex. Didn't seem to stretch much. Would I use it for a backing? Spandex is rubber. It's a rubber. That's what spandex is. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would work fine. You could use your curtains for a quilt backing. I don't know. It's up to you. It's designed to hug around the body. That's what spandex is for, is to hug the body. That is nothing but curves. So yeah, everyone stay true to yourself. That's right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you can only use this and you can only use that. So if you are new to the channel, I'll just tell you, I don't work for anybody but myself. I am an affiliate for certain companies that I help promote their products, and I make a commission, and that's how I support and run this channel. Okay. But I'm not on anybody's payroll. So I will be very honest with you. And I will only talk to you about things that I know and I love and I use. So yesterday, could I promote? We were talking about embroidery software yesterday. Could I promote PE design? Because I'm an affiliate for Sewing Machines Plus and they sell it. And if you want to buy it from them, or Mo Queens, and Amy Bachman up at Amy Sews. I'm an affiliate for those companies. Could I promote it? Sure. And I'd probably make more of a commission, but I don't know how to use that. So I'm not going to tell you to use it. So Connecting Threads, 25% off site wide. Yeah, I love that. That's where I get that Poly Pro, Essential Pro thread, not Poly Pro, Essential Pro is that Connecting Threads. And I have a link for that below too. So very strong thread, does not lint. I like that. So that's my favorite because it's a polyester. Anyway, so I just wanted to follow up on that from yesterday. My email box went poof about threads. So, but you do what works for you. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you to run out and buy a $15 cone of thread. I'm just not going to do it. If you have something else in your stash that will work, then use what you have. Okay. That's just how I roll, y'all. So, all right. I'm going to put all this aside. You guys, I got my Sew sampler yesterday for March. I can't show it to you to the end of the month. I sure hope you got that box. I hope you got that box because that has a cool gadget in it. Oh, I'm so excited to show you. So excited. All right, you guys, I'm going through coffee withdrawals here. I can't stand it. I'm going to have to run and go get it. There you go. That's a really good, where did it? Carol says, until the quilt police buys my thread, I'm going to use what works for me. There you go. It is a tease. Y'all don't share. Don't share. Don't share. Don't say what it is. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yesterday's Sew sampler was amazing. Amazing. If you guys, you can still get it if you're not a subscriber to the Sew. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they might have some of March's boxes. I don't know. But all right, you guys talk about amongst yourselves for about 30 seconds. If you're new, put it in the chat that you're new. I have a sunshine committee wandering around, and they will make you feel very, very welcome. And also, if you're new, pop in and you're watching on replay, pop it into the comments below. I got to snag my coffee cup. It's ready to go. See it. I don't see it. Oh no. It's not at the coffee pot. I picked it up. I did get it, and I don't know what I did with it. Oh no. It's around here somewhere and getting cold. Darn. Y'all, my life. Anyway. Okay. So you've been stocking up on Connecting Threads Essential Cottons. All right. Take a commercial minute time out. My cup, I don't know what happened to it. It's going to drive me crazy. As soon as we get finished, I go, well, there. Oh, it's on the dryer. Hold on. I had to pull some shirts out of the dryer. Okay. Hello, Miss Frito. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. You're so pretty with your little bandana. Okay. Okay, my life is normal now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the Sew Sampler box is a subscription box from the Fat Quarter Shop. I'll get it here. Yeah, and so it will. This subscription box is really, really. I love this, and you're going to get new things on the market. You're always going to get some fabric and a pattern and a notion or two. And better. I know. Oh my gosh, y'all. You got your new chair? Not too bad for assembly. Yeah, Kathy, it's pretty good. Pretty easy. After I made my third one, I was putting them together in 10 minutes. So does it have any stickers inside? I don't think so. I didn't see any in this one. Maybe sometimes we might get one. I don't know. If you're a brand new quilter, that's a great way to build your stash. You're going to get lots of fabrics that are coordinating, which I love because I'm not good at coordinating fabrics. So that is the March box that just came in the mail. Yeah. I know a lot of you get them and you might open it up or not, and you throw them in a stack and they're stacked up in your room. I know some of you do that. So, oh, got my coffee bag. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. That was driving me crazy. Oh, you got to bedazzle your PQ. Okay. Yeah. So, one of my viewers, Glory Torres, who made Frito's treat bucket, she also made stickers for me, and I have bedazzled my PQ for sure. Yeah. A guilty. Deborah says, I've done that. I get the boxes and I just set them aside and don't even look at them. Well, then you probably have too much stuff, not too much fabric. All righty. I want to get to stitching on this how to build a scarecrow quilt. And I got to tell y'all, another topic of discussion, binding. I know that's what this today was supposed to be about. Cut it straight or on the bias, which lasts longer. So, this is just my thoughts. Okay. I always cut straight binding. I cut straight binding because unless I have a quilt with curves. If you've got like one of those curved scalloped edge quilts, if you have a scalloped edge, you have to do a curve. You have to do bias binding. Otherwise, it'll ripple and you can't sew it on straight. It looks terrible if you don't cut it on the bias. But if a fabric is cut on the bias, so think about what's the purpose of pinking shears, right? What is the purpose of pinking shears? So let's talk logically, okay? Because that's how I think, sort of. Sometimes I don't think logically. The purpose of pinking shears is to prevent fray, right? That's their purpose in life, is to prevent fray. What happens to a straight strip of fabric when you use pinking shears? The knife blade, let me get my pinking shears. Let's talk about this. That's a great question. Let's talk about that. Okay. The knife blade on a straight pair of scissors. These are Guggenheims. These are fantastic. Let's get in. The knife blade on a pair of shears is straight, right? You're going to get a straight cut. Okay. The blades on pinking shears, okay, what is that going to give you? Diagonals, bias cuts. Okay. Yeah, they have a new special on scissors. I saw that, Dave. Yep. So they're going to give you bias cuts, little tiny bias cuts. Those zigzags are going to give you bias cuts on a straight strip of fabric. Okay. So the point of the bias cut is, as we mentioned a minute ago, is to prevent fray. So on the binding of a quilt, if that quilt is going to be used by a toddler, drug around the house, made into forts, wrap the dog in it. My granddaughter was throwing up her Princess and the Pea quilt on the trampoline and creating a big parachute with it, and then hitting the trampoline, jumping down, and then it was coming on top of her and she was rolling around in it. It was getting a lot of friction on the edges of that quilt. That would have been a perfect time. So when you make a straight cut on a piece of fabric, you know how it'll fray out, right? On a straight cut. If the edge of that fabric frays, you're just going to have less fray if you have it cut on the bias than if you have it. But the thing with binding, especially, that binding is 2 layers of fabric, right? Because we cut it you cut a strip and fold it in half so you get a clean edge. So what about binding the scallop edges, CC? If you have scallop edges, you absolutely have to cut bias binding. You have to cut it on the bias because you cannot get a pretty finish. It won't. You need that bias to be able to stretch into those curves and come back out. You absolutely have to. Let me see here. Use pinking shears for garment sewing before you got a serger. Absolutely. Yeah, they're great. You know, you need pinking shears if you're going to cut cotton. These were huge. I remember my grandmother had a big old pair of them, and I was like, that's the weirdest thing ever. And but that was before the days of polyester. Polyester didn't roll out to the 70s. But I remember in the 60s, everybody's clothes was made out of cotton. So you used pinking shears. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's just either one. But if you're going to make a quilt that's going to go through, well, like I said, the binding, so pinking shears will prevent fray on edges. I would definitely use pinking shears if you're going to make a raw edge quilt. Okay. If your applique or something is going to have raw edge, you may want to consider cutting those applique shapes with pinking shears just around the edges a little bit, that kind of thing. That's what I did on the patches on the knees and the legs of the overalls for the Scarecrow quilt. Okay. So fantastic machine quilter is a lady by the name of Bernie, and she hangs out in here. I've seen her in here before. Bernie was in my class for Brilliance Essentials on Thursday, and she brought me, I'm trying to remember what I did with it, but she brought me this little quilt sample to show me another method of how to finish the diagonal seam on a seam binding, because my method for quilt binding, for binding a quilt. So my method is lay one side down, lay the other one on top of it, cut it to size, rotate this end 360 degrees, sew them together, stitch it, and it works and it fits every time. And she said, no, that's too much work. And I love, oh, hi, Bernie. There you are. Bernie says, I'm here today. Where'd you go? Stuff flies by me. Let me see. There you are. This is Bernie. Y'all, Bernie won big ribbon at the San Antonio Quilt Guild Quilt Show she gets in and does that micro quilting and all the quilting around the shapes and everything. She makes that long arm sing. Bernie is a phenomenal quilter. Okay. So I'm trying to remember what I did with your little sample you made me. But I'm going to do it here on the Scarecrow. I'm going to try your new method, Bernie. We'll see how it works. Okay. If I was prepared, I would have had that little sample here with me. But I have a big quilt, so we use that. All right. So the method I have used, and here's my bobbin thread. Same color as my bindings, because I stitch in the ditch from the front on the binding. I do not, if you're brand new, hi, welcome. I don't hand stitch anything if I don't have to. That is not my jam. I don't like it. My hands don't like it. I've got osteoarthritis in my fingers and it's not fun or comfortable. So if I can do it by machine, that's why I'm Power Tools with Thread. I do. All right. Where's the end? It's here. I know it's here. I left it open. There it is. Found it. Okay. Yeah. Bernie's something else behind the long arm, y'all. Woo. Something else. Okay. This big old quilt. I hate wrangling quilts. Ugh, hurts my shoulders and my arms. We got a tonneau cover for the new Jeep. And my husband has a tonneau cover on top of his truck. And it's the kind that flips back into, it's flat across and it flips back like that. Well, they make one, and I can never do that. I can't pull the wire and flip it at the same time. It hurts. So I said, I want the kind that has a button and it rolls. You hit the button. That's what I want. He said, those are expensive. I said, I don't care. I want that because I can press a button. All righty. So Bernie's method, and Bernie gives sage advice. So I listen to her. All right. Bernie's method is the measuring process is the same. So you take, this is my left and this is my right. All right. So you take your strip and lay it out flat. And I've got some selvage right there. So the measuring process is the same. I'm going to make sure I have a nice, I usually spread my fingers to give me enough to work with. I'm going to cut this end off right here. This is my selvage. Okay. If this doesn't work, it's fine. I'll fix it, but I'm sure it'll work. And then you open up, I'm going to open up this little piece I just cut off and lay it flat and hold it out. Okay. So it is at the same angle. It's right there. They're the same on the ends. Does that make sense? I hope so. I like to back mine up into the opening a tiny bit to prevent any kind of bubble. Let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can watch. And turn this. Okay. So what I do, and Bernie said, no, it's too much work. Do it easier. I lay it over flat, just like this. And on the left edge, this is my measuring guide. Okay. So you put it, lay this left piece out flat, set that on top. I'm going to move it in about 1/4 of an inch. I like that. Okay. And then you lay the right one over the top of it. And on my left side of the measuring guide, I'm going to cut. Okay. No math. No math. All right. Hey, you guys, if you're watching on your TV, go ahead and hit the channel up button if you would. That gives me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Now, what I normally do, both methods work. I lay this out flat, face down or face up, and then I take this one and I twist it around 360 degrees and put these edges together and sew on the diagonal. Like that's what I do. Bernie said, you're doing it too hard. She said, and this is the first time I've done it since she showed me. Okay. You take this right piece and this is how I've figured out how to talk about it. I'm going to put my thumb in it and I'm just going to fold it. And you want to make a little house like that. I'm sure I'm going to do it wrong. Okay. So I've got the house, and by the house, I mean it has a point up here going down and going down. Have you guys done this? It's called the Sew Sampler Box is the name of the monthly box. Okay. So I've got my little house here, and now I'm going to take this one and just put them right sides together is what on the, am I doing that right, Bernie? Overlap, right? Yeah, I did overlap the size of the binding strip. Am I doing that right? Let me pin it and see. I'm going to pin it on, we'll just test it. So I told her I'd have to figure out a way to talk through it. I don't know if I did that right. And yep, and it works. See that? So it's going to lay out and lay flat. How about that? Okay. So it works. So that's a new method for me. I love it. So since that works, I'm going to put these exactly where they go. I'm matching up the ends on the diagonal. So what you're not doing, let me show you what you're not doing. Zoom in for more folding. All right. Let me show you what you're not doing. Put this down a little bit. All right. So this one is out flat. That's that one on my left. The one on my right, okay, I'm looking at the wrong side of the fabric. The wrong side of the fabric is toward me. I'm going to put my thumb in it. You know, I'm going to give myself some space, put my thumb in it, and I'm just going to fold it over my thumb and turn it to the side so that and tuck that in flat like that and turn it to the side. So to me, it looks like a little house. I see the peak of the roof coming down here and coming down here. It looks like a little house to me. Okay. All right. So I'll just pin this and hold it up. It's going to look like an upside down house. Can you see? It looks upside down to you. It looks right side up to me. I'm not turning it around because my quilt's too big. All right, so that's correct. Then I'm just going to take this, all right, and I'm just going to put it right there like that and lay it right on top. No spinning. That's exactly like that, okay? That's how that works. So I'm going to pin. So let me do it again so you guys can see, okay? You're going to make a little house. I'm going to put my thumb in and I'm tucking that like that. Super easy, okay? I'm an old dog. I can learn a new trick. I'm not too proud. Doesn't bother me a bit. Then this, I'm just going to lay flat. So putting this on here. And I'm going to put a little pin right here like that to keep it straight. I'm going to pull this pin, right? All righty. I'm going to sew from here down to here. All right, Bernie. Let's see. Let me back out. We're going to see. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. I love learning new stuff. All right, here we go. I'm watching the point and making sure it's straight on my diagonal seam tape. All right, here we go. Did I do that right? No, I did not. I sewed the wrong direction. Okay. I sewed the wrong direction. And you will too. You'll figure it out. Okay. So while this is like this, I'm going to unpick these edges. I'm going to keep it in the middle. Hold on. So I sewed the wrong way. Let's see here. Okay. That's all right. Did I do that wrong? Bernie, are you talking? Top left to right. Yep. So that's where I made the mistake. I need to sew from this left over here to this right. That was the boo-boo that I made. I'm going to sew right to left because it's easier. I'm still going to sew the same angle, just from a different direction. Get that in there. I'm going to even this out. I sewed it the wrong direction. I need to get that point on my red line on my diagonal seam tape so it's lined up. First time I've done this, you guys. Okay. Aha, look at that. Ta-da! How about that? Look at that, y'all. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Bernie. New dog, old dog, new trick. I love it. Okay. I do like to bring it in that extra 1/4 of an inch. That seems to prevent the bubble for me. in the finished seam. Okay. So now I'm just going to lay, that's beautiful. Look at that. Vernie, you're so smart. Yay. Okay. Okay. I'm closing up that gap. How about that? That was easier. I just have to practice it and get it right so I can do it with my eyes closed. Very nice. All right. There it is, you guys. There's my final. Yes, backing up that extra 1/4 inch makes a big difference. And so what you get is you get a very smooth finish on your diagonal seam binding. Okay. And there's no bubble. I didn't even have to try to work in any extra fabric. If I had not backed that little measuring piece up that 1/4 inch, I would have been fighting with a bubble of fabric. So, and if you get a bubble of fabric when you're doing this, if you get a little bubble where you've got too much fabric when you're trying to close it up, just save this video. Yeah, and then you can scrub right through it until you get to where you're going. So until you, sorry, you guys, you can scrub right through videos. You don't have to watch all the yakety yak up in front. You can scrub right over to the side and then watch just that binding piece. So if you do get a bubble, don't have a litter of kittens. If it bubbles here, go ahead and check the back side, and which is actually the front of the quilt, and see if it bubbles. And you probably don't. So, well, Kaylee, I thank you. She says I do beautiful work. I listen to people who have more experience than me. That turned out just gorgeous, Bernie. Thank you so much for taking the time to make that little sample and bring it to class. Y'all, that's the thing. So she made this little sample of patchwork, and then she put a binding all the way around it except for the closure. And she said, let me show you how to do this. That took thought and consideration and effort and time. And I appreciate that so much, Bernie. Thank you so much. So I just love it too. I love it too. So the way I bind, because we only have a couple minutes left. So don't throw away your measuring guide before you're done, because you need that, right? Oh, y'all, look. I want it bobbin chicken. It's going to be a good day. Yay. I want it bobbin chicken. Awesome. So here's my, this thread is that thread I was showing y'all. I made a bobbin out of it yesterday. This is the Essential Pro from Connecting Threads. And it is the same color as my binding. Okay. So I'm going to use this in the bobbin. I stitch in the ditch from the front. And I have a foot for that. As soon as I find my screwdriver. Oh, here it is. I have a foot for that. Oh, Laura, the lady who made the bags, talked to me about a compensating foot. And it's for straight stitch machines. And I found it and I got it. And it'll do an 1/8 inch. And I got it at Sewing Parts Online. Anyway, I got that. I'm going to make more bags. I think I hated making bags because I didn't have the right tools, but I loved the computer bag I made. Okay, let me put this down. Let me make sure my needle goes where it's supposed to. Yes. I'm not going to break it up. Okay, so this is a foot that has a hinge at the back of it. And it allows for different thicknesses. It's a stitch in the ditch industrial foot. The only place I've found it is Ken's Sewing. I have it linked below. It's not an affiliate for me, so if you don't use my link, don't worry about it. But you can go to Ken's Sewing and type in industrial ditch, and it only works on high shank machines. Dave, go get you one. You will love it. And get two. well, because you get free shipping if you spend a certain amount. Okay. So what I do with mine is I take the binding and I fold it over. And this is a 2¼ inch strip, not 2½. I want it a little bit more narrow on the back, and I cover that up. All right. And this is how I do it. And I'll do a little bit and then show you guys what it looks like. And then we'll go because our hour is almost up. And I won't finish this today because we're leaving in 2 hours and I got to finish packing. Okay. So I am looking down into the hole and making sure that it's right at the ditch. I'm not using any pins and I am not using, okay. Let me get going. I'm going to back stitch a couple and get going here. So I'll switch to the other camera so you guys can see. All right. Let me get all of this out of the way. What foot did I take off? I took off my 1/4 inch piecing foot and I put on, and I'll take this foot off and let you see it up close. It's an industrial ditch foot. It's only for high shape machines. It does not fit the luminaire. We've been through this. Okay. So what I'm doing on my hands, okay, what I'm doing on my hands is I look underneath, okay, and I'm folding this piece of binding over the stitching of where I attached it. And I can see that it's straight, okay, and I'm holding it with my thumb and forefinger, and then I'm looking to make sure that I'm stitching in the ditch. And I just go nice and slow. And there's our hour. Okay. Stop. So I'll back up. This is another reason for a ditch foot, for a straight stitch machine. That is my PQ 1500 JMac. Yes. Okay. So here is that little part I just sewed from here to here. Okay. Let me get you in really close. I love the zoom on this quilt, on this camera. There's what I just sewed from the front. Okay. And here it is from the back. There you go. And it's beautiful. Look at that. Okay. Fantastic foot for quilt bindings. You will never bind the same. So let me show it to you again. They have it at Ken's Sewing. It's called an industrial ditch foot. It's not a Juki. It's not a anything. It's a generic. Okay. And this foot, I've shown this many times, but I got lots of new people that watch. Okay. This is called, it's like a compensating foot sort of. So it has a hinge on it. I want it to get where you can see it. Okay. It has a hinge on it. It's for single hole. And this foot sits on, this half of the foot sits on top of the binding. And this foot is fixed. This half of it is fixed. This sits on the quilt. So as the binding, let me see. Okay. As the quilt travels through the binding, okay, like this, that big thick toe sits right on that edge. Whoop, where are you at? Where are you? I can't see. Where are you at? Where am I at? Here I am. I got quilt in the way. There. Okay. So this here, see it move? It moves. And it has a hinge in here. And it allows this half of the foot to move. Independent suspension for you car buffs. Okay. So it sits right on there, and that will handle the height of the binding piece. And it stitches right next to it. And that big thick toe right there shove the binding out of the way so that you can get that beautiful finish where you can't see it. Now, I ask you, okay, why would I, of osteoarthritic fingers, sew a binding on by hand when they make this baby? Why would I do that? So anyway, that is how I put my bindings on. So it is amazing. Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you for celebrating Frito's Forever Home Gotcha Day with me. We had a great time. Thank you, David, for your amazing gifts. Your laser artistry is exceptional. And thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate that. Couldn't do what I do without you. And I love taking all of the knowledge that I get from all of you and sharing it with others. So that is what makes this community so incredibly special. All right, y'all, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to spend more time together. You never know what we're going to do here on Power Tools with Thread. I will talk to you soon. I love you all. See you tomorrow in Canton, Texas. Go sew something.